Brock announces themselves to the 4A world. Hello, everybody. Terry Bennett here on the Brock Eagle Football Show, brought to you by Tommy Hayes Photography and DFW Executive Realty, right here on S2S Sports, part of L4 Media. As for the first time in 3 years, the Brock Eagles go to 1-0 as they beat D1 Decatur 27-7. That's pretty darn good, folks. Decatur, I know they're having to reload, and they lost a stud running back in Nate Palmer from last year's squad, but that's still a program under Coach Steve Huff that has been to back-to-back Division I semifinals. They're going to be there at the end of the year, going deep into the Division I 4A playoffs, and this was a great win for the Brock program, and all around just to not only beat Decatur, but to go to Decatur, have a weather delay, and then come out and at one point be up 27-0. That right there shows you what Brock has in store this year and the potential that these Eagles have. I want to thank our sponsors, of course, Tommy Hayes. You all know him. He does all the photography work for the Brock Eagles. You can find him online at TommyHayesPhotography.com or on his Instagram, Tommy_Hayes_photography. You will see some of the great sport action, and he also does so many other things, so please check him out. He has been a long-time sponsor of our shows. He's also a sponsor of our Beyond the Sport show. So please, if you see him, tell him thanks. And check out Eddie Washington at DFWExecutiveRealty.com for all your realty needs on the Fort Worth side of Dallas-Fort Worth. Eddie will take care of you. You can also email him, edwash1@msn.com. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, it's the head coach of the Brock Eagles, Coach Billy Mathis, as we're going to talk about the big win against Decatur and the matchup against Lake Worth right here on the Brock Eagle Football Show. We want to thank our new sponsor, Lazy S Hacienda. Now, if you're a Brock football fan and you were at the Brock event earlier this year, it was there at the Hacienda, so you know how awesome it is. Some of the best views that you're going to get in DFW is over there. They have a stunning, beautiful new venue, but it's also eco-friendly. It's state-of-the-art, it's luxurious, and it's eco-friendly. You can't beat that. Celebrate your special occasions, whether it be like the Brock Eagles Booster Club putting on an event, a wedding, a reunion, a corporate retreat. You know, corporate retreats are a real big thing right now. And if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you want to go somewhere where you feel like you're outside of DFW, but you're only 45 minutes away, that's what you'll get at Lazy S Hacienda. You can find them online at lazyshacienda.com. You can also give them an email if you have any questions or thoughts. Just email Mamie at support@lazyshacienda.com. And we're going to be talking a lot more about them in the coming weeks. We do appreciate them for signing on to be a Brock sponsor. Terry Bennett back here on the Brock Football Show, now joined by the head coach of the Eagles, Coach Billy Mathis. And, Coach, I get to say this for the first time in 2 years on your first game of the season. Congratulations on the big win over Decatur, 27-7. That had to feel great.
1-0. It always feels great. It's been a while. You know, last year we were, seconds away from being 1-0, and you go and you're like, you try to make yourself feel better about, kind of a quote-unquote moral victory, but you can't. There is nothing better than being 1-0 coming out starting the year, especially this year with, moving up a classification and all the questions and stuff. It was very nice Friday night when that buzzer finally rang, have a chance to go out and ring the victory bell.
It's funny you say that because, we talked off the air after last year's first game and the year before, and you said it best. I'm trying to take the positives, but I remember you said at Brock you don't get moral victories, and you're 100% right. Brock has a target on their back. I know y'all are used to that, but it felt a little different going up in the 4A. It did feel like the whole Division II 4A world was kind of seeing how Brock would handle it this week.
I agree, and they should. We have to go out and prove ourselves because 4A Division II, it's as good as any classification in the state. And, I get it. Some of the sports writers have us ranked up pretty high, and people are like, wow, they haven't even done anything. They haven't proved themselves. And there's a lot of truth into that, so to be able to go out and to be able to play a team and beat a team at Decatur's caliber really opened up, I think it opened up our own kids' eyes of, man, we are meant to be here. We are good enough to be here. We got a heck of a team. So a big confidence builder after that win.
Brody Woods has a great day on through the air. Your offensive line looked good, and offensively last year and the last couple of years, and you and I have talked about it on the show and off the show that y'all have had trouble at times finding an offense that's consistent from week to week. But man, this is a great starting point.
It's a great starting point. For us, replacing 3 offensive linemen, it always worries you. But man, they did an amazing job. Coach Aaron Wood and Coach Keith Wood, our 2 O-line coaches, put in a lot of work. And these guys, this group of O-linemen are, people say dogs, right? These guys are just, they're tough. They're hard-nosed. They hang together. They're a very tight-knit group. And we've got about 7 of them right now who are all part of that O-line who, roll in and they're working backups and stuff. So, it's a good group. They went out, and what I loved about what they did is I felt like they finished every play better than we finished the last couple of years, this early in the year.
Well, and, you talk about how close they are, and you talk about how physical, and they've got a little bit of that dog in them, as you say, and that's a compliment, folks, I promise you. But, I mean, no proof than that at the end of the game when things are getting a little chippy and your quarterback's getting hit, and it's your guys are coming to defend your quarterback. You had to love that as a coach, even with the penalties.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. You always want to tell them, hey, keep it between the whistles. And, there were some shots late after the thing, and the officials have got to do a good job of controlling that stuff and stopping it early. And it got a little bit, but, our guys, they're going to come and protect the quarterback, which I was proud of them that they did. They get a butt chewing for doing it afterwards. But, when the dust settles, you're very excited that they're going to take care of their guys.
All right, you now are 1-0. You take on Lake Worth this week. Bullfrogs, a solid program, new coach, guy that won a state championship at DeSoto. When you look at the Bullfrogs on film, what do you see?
Man, a team that has so much potential. They've got great athletes out on the field. Of course, they got an excellent coaching staff. They're a team that you can't sleep on. You cannot take lightly, and I think that's what people do. A lot of times they play it, these teams that hadn't been just perennial powerhouses, but Lake Worth's had some good seasons here in the past. And I know because we go and see track meets and stuff that they're in, they are a great football program. And we got to go out and we got to, take care of business. We can't take anybody lightly. We got to go out and play, sound offense and defense, put together good drives and get them off the field.
Now, this is honestly, jokes about the schedule, but this is probably I would say the first time in the last 3 years of your scheduling that you're a prohibitive favorite going into a non-district game. Are you worried about any kind of letdown when it comes to the kids and that type of attitude?
No, I'm not worried about any sort of letdown because, I watch the kid, talking to the kids, at lunch today, they come by and they're like, man, coach, that left defensive end of theirs, man, he's got the best hands in the world. The right defensive end, God, he's so fast and, his arms are so long. They're watching these guys and their mindset is trained to, hey, we're going to find what they're good at and, make sure that we can defend it. So, our kids see on film. Film don't lie. And they see how good this team is. They didn't have a great game last week, but I know this. Their coaching staff's going to get them ready this week.
You bring up what your kids see on film and stuff, and I think that kind of segues into something I've been talking with some of the other coaches this week about. I know there's a lot of knocks about the youth today and all that, but I contend that kids coming into the football programs are smarter football-wise now than we ever were because not only of all the film study, but playing Madden, the video game and stuff. And you're a program that really allows your kids to watch the film on their own to figure some things out.
They do. It's a game every Monday. Who's watched the most film? Over the weekend. The kids sit at home. They get together and do it. And then Monday when they come in, I always ask them, all right, what do you see? And they want to give us all the answers of what we saw too. So they're very in tune with film. They do a great job of learning how to watch film. They're not just watching the game. they're watching, their position. They're watching the guy across from them. They're seeing, hey, man, this guy right here, when he's pass blocking, he's light on his hand, or when he's run blocking, he's heavy on his hand. Where's the back at? They're looking at that type of stuff, because they know those little telltale signs give us an advantage in the game. So, they love finding that stuff. They love seeing it, and they love trying to find something that we coaches hadn't seen yet.
We want to thank our new sponsor, Lazy S Hacienda. Now, if you're a Brock football fan and you were at the Brock event earlier this year, it was there at the Hacienda, so you know how awesome it is. Some of the best views that you're going to get in DFW is over there. They have a stunning, beautiful new venue, but it's also eco-friendly. It's state-of-the-art, it's luxurious, and it's eco-friendly. You can't beat that. Celebrate your special occasions, whether it be like the Brock Eagles Booster Club putting on an event, a wedding, a reunion, a corporate retreat. Corporate retreats are a real big thing right now. And if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you want to go somewhere where you feel like you're outside of DFW, but you're only 45 minutes away, that's what you'll get at Lazy S Hacienda. You can find them online at lazyshacienda.com. You can also give them an email if you have any questions or thoughts. Just email Mamie at support@lazyshacienda.com. And we're going to be talking a lot more about them in the coming weeks. We do appreciate them for signing on to be a Brock sponsor. As always, we want to thank Coach Billy Mathis for joining us here on the Brock Eagle Football Show. 1-0. Man, it feels good to say that again, doesn't it? I mean, the two non-districts you had the year before last and last year, I think it helped shape the team that played in a state championship and then played in a region final. But still, it is nice just to get a win. And to get a win against a quality opponent. It wasn't like you took a step down to get this win. I mean, you played a 4A Division I team again. I know replacing some parts, but that's what Decatur does. They replace, they're like Brock. They don't rebuild, they reload. And especially under head coach Steve Huff. And that's, that's what they're going to do this year. And they're going to be very, very good this year. And I think this bodes well for Brock on not just winning, but how they won. As we talked about it with Coach, at times the last couple of years, the offense has been inconsistent. And this felt like a game that they, from the moment out, the offense got going against a very athletic Decatur defense. And so I think this is a good sign. I think this is going to be a fun season for the Brock Eagles, and we're glad that y'all are going to be joining us each and every week here. I say that we're already 2 coaches shows down, folks. Next week is week 3. And there are districts in the state of Texas that next week they start district. So that's how quick this goes. But 2 weeks are in the books. Week 3, we'll talk about it next week right here on the Brock Eagle Football Show on S2S Sports, part of L4 Media.